Previous week, alhamdulillah, we finished the 20 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. Once again, to recap, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the 20 verses mentions three groups of people. The first, the believers. The second, those who disbelieve and they show their disbelief, they do not try to hide it. And the third, the munafiqun, the hypocrites. Through this we also learned that the taqseem, the division of people in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is based on belief and non-belief. That according to by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, division of people is not done based upon their race, it's not done based upon their color, it's not done based upon their language, it's not done based upon how rich or poor a person is, how much education a person has. None of these things matter in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Division of people in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is based on iman, belief and disbelief, and how high or how low a person is in his iman and his a'mal based upon that. Learning from this, from this of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should also try to bring this into our lives, that we don't divide people that because he's from my tribe, or he's from he speaks the same language as me, he's from the same place from as I am, so I'm going to give him some extra favors. So now I'll be nice to this person, I won't be nice to that person because he's of my color, my race, my language. None of these things should make a difference in our dealing with people, justly or unjustly. Whoever it is, whoever it may be, we deal with them with justice. So how do we deal then with those people who do not believe? As far as how we deal with people who do not believe, again, in this world we deal with them just as a person would deal with anyone else. Yani with the same akhlaq, with good character, trying to win their hearts over towards Islam, towards deen, also being just towards them. As far as how they will be dealt with in the akhirah, as far as individuals are concerned, we don't need to give any ruling upon anyone. Just as when Fir'aun, when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam went to the court of Fir'aun to give him da'wah. So Fir'aun, he was trying to use different tricks and different plays to corner Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. So when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam came to the court, as it's in the Quran Kareem, so Fir'aun had his viziers around him, his courtiers, people that were there. So in front of them, he asked a question to Musa alayhi salam. قال فما بال القرون الأولى. That what do you think is how do you think basically the God that you're speaking about, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're speaking about, how has He dealt with the people of the earlier generations, those that have passed away, those that have already gone? So why was Fir'aun asking Musa? Not that he wanted to learn from him. Why? Because if Musa ﷺ was to say anything about their predecessors, then all the viziers and all the courtiers, they would also their pride would also come in, and they say that how dare you say this about our forefathers? If someone says something to you, you can listen to it. Someone says something about your father, you won't like that. If someone says something about those that are above you, your predecessors, you won't like that. So Fir'aun was trying to use this, that he thought that Musa ﷺ said they're all Jahannami, they're all going to Jahannam. Hence, based on that, he would have won over the courtiers. So Musa ﷺ, sensing that what Fir'aun was doing, he also said, قَالَ عِلْمُهَا عِنْدَ رَبِّي فِي كِتَابٍ. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has dealt with them, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written in the Lawh Mahfuz already. That is written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He is dealing with them. So many times we may be faced with this also. That person tries to corner you and say, okay, that you say this, that what do you say? Will I be going to hell? Will I be going to paradise? So as far as individuals are concerned, we don't need to give a hukum upon anyone, that this is what's going to happen to you. No, why? Because at the end, the final moments also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give hidayah to someone. So there's no need to say anything about an individual, that what this person taking his name, this is how he will be dealt with in the akhirah. No. We have our aqidah, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deals with people. Individuals are concerned, leave it unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Exactly how. And if you are asking me and you believe in me, then you're a believer anyways. So what's the point of asking me? And if you don't believe in what I say, what's the point of asking me? So the way is also how a person says something, and a person should also be cognizant about his surroundings and what people would try to make and use you to say things that you would not want to be saying. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the taqseem, the division of people in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is based upon iman and a'mal. After these 20 verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressing the entire humanity. Humanity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala divided into three classes. As the audience, as humanity, as the entire audience, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the next verse says, Ya ayyuhan nas, the all people, u'budu rabbakum, worship your Lord, alladhi khalaqakum. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ask of you? That you do the ibadah and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who? Your Lord. Why? الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ. Why should Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be worshipped? The one who created you. وَالَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, and those before you. Yani you are not something new, that this is the first creation Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done. No. Rather, even those before you that came, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them. What is the benefit for you in this? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So that you may attain taqwa. Yani the different groups of people in the world, that those that have not believed, then they will at least gain the level of taqwa of bringing iman upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those that already have belief, then they will go in the higher levels of taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now why should Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be worshipped? Why should this being be worshipped? الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فِرَاشًا. That after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives this da'wah to the people, the Quran calls the people towards the ubudiyah, the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now the dalail, the proofs of this are being mentioned. الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فِرَاشًا. The one who, that being who has made the earth as a furnished habitation for you. الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فِرَاشًا. Firashan, a furnished habitation for you. Yani if a person ponders and thinks about it, that there are different materials and elements in this world, that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, imagine if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to make the earth out of steel, how would a person walk upon the earth? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what if it was opposite, that a person had to walk upon, for example, water? Or if a person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to make the earth out of rubber, that person would be jumping up and down the entire time. Or if it's extremely soft, then a person would completely be sunken into the ground. And if a person looks around himself and thinks that this creation, everything, that the things that I take for granted, that I'm walking upon the land, I'm walking upon a hill, I'm walking and taking a stroll in the park, how is it possible for me to do this? Yani what if it was something else, it was another element that was beneath my feet? How much harder would it be for me to walk? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using simple things. The style of the Quran Kareem is that any person, anywhere, anytime, if a person ponders upon the ayat of the Quran Kareem, it is enough and sufficient for them to believe in the Quran and upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one that has made for you the earth, firashan, وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the sky as a roof above your heads. And today we learn when you study cosmology, or when a person studies astronomy, that a person looks into the galaxy, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected the earth, our planet, from all of the meteoroids and all the other things in the galaxy. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept a protective layer around the earth. So the Quran Kareem is saying, وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً, that it just says, what's the point of a roof above our heads? If the rain falls, it shouldn't come upon us. Snow falls, if we are protected from it. Hail comes, we're protected from it. That's the job, that's the work of a roof. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the skies. That today we know it's as gases, and these aren't just gases for no reason. Rather, it's as a protection, a ring around the earth. وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent forth from the sky water. And from the sky meaning, if a person looks up, it's as if it's from the sky. And a person can't say that the Quran is saying that the rain comes from the sky, we know it comes from clouds. No. What the Quran is saying, firstly, sama in Arabic means kullu ma alaka. Whatever is above a person can be linguistically called sama in Arabic. Secondly, again, the Quran style is that a person, even looking at the apparent things in the world, because it looks as if it's coming from the sky, so the Quran, to address those people that may not have too much education, also keeping in this mind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeping in this in front, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses the people. وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. And He sent forth from the sky rain. What's the benefit of this water? Firstly, we know that we can drink this water, but not only that, using the same water, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. Something which you are in need of, through that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also takes out another thing which you are in need of. What is that? Fruits and vegetations. فَأَخْرَجَ بِهِ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ. Why has all this been done? رِزْقًا لَكُمْ. So that it may be as a means of sustenance for you. Now let's take another example in this world. Let's say, for example, a person comes to you and he buys you a house. He buys a place for you to stay, that you have a firash, you have a place you can spend the night, and there's a roof above your head that you're also protected. Not only that, the house comes with a fridge, but he fills it with food also. That he puts food in there. There's water also that you can drink from. At the end of this, he gives you a bill. You say, here's your bill, this is how much you have to pay me. What's written on the bill? The only thing that's written on the bill is that, say this much, that I am the one that has given this to you. that you didn't make it yourself, or that no one else was your benefactor. That's all you have to say. Your bill will be paid if you make this testimony, if you give this testification that I am the one that has given you this house with all the furnishings and with all the food and the water that is available to you. That is all you have to do. If a person turns around as soon as that person leaves from the house and says, "No, actually, I'm the one that did all this," or "No, someone else did it for me," or if a person becomes completely oblivious and says, "No, I don't know how all this came about. I wonder someone maybe just left it for me," or just out of the blue all these things came, what will we say? That this person is very ungrateful to that person. That this is a person that that he is demoralized. He has no morals. How can you say such a thing? That your benefactor just walked out of the door after giving you all these things, and you can't even say from your tongue that he's the one that gave it to you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks insan, addressing human beings, says that after I have done all these, جَعَلَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فِرَاشًا, that you have been given an earth, a land to easily walk upon, that you can, if you want to walk upon, you can sleep on it, whatever, you can use this earth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you've been protected from all those things outside of your planet. From that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a roof above your head through the skies, through the sky. وَأَنزِلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, that from the rain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you water to drink in this world. And through the same water Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, showing His power, also takes out food for you. All you have to do is فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا, do not ascribe any partners unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is your payment. That's the only payment you need to be making. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, whilst the reality is that you also know this. That deep down inside, that in the fitrah of a human being, that a person's natural disposition, his fitrah, is that a person knows that there must be a deity, that there must be an Allah, there must be a God, and that God logically must be one. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that despite you knowing this, all you have to do is make this testification that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done all this for you, and that there is only one Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, whilst you know, this is also very important. The many people that we are faced with sometimes with friends or colleagues or outside, a person is faced in a situation that he has to debate. There's a person says, "No, prove to me that there is God," and not everyone is fit for this. Not everyone can prove this, or not everyone is good at debating with others. So for those people, it's very important that we understand that Iman is also something which is intuitive, that you don't need to be able to put it into words. And just as if a person asks you, that prove to me that you are living right now, that you are alive. Because why? There are groups that have passed and still alive today. They say that everything you see is just imaginary. That this person is sitting in front of me, there's lights, all this is my imagination. That they're saying that these are all my imaginations, all of these things are just happening in my own mind. That someone speaks to me is also imagination. So just as that person would, if a person, how would you prove that you are alive? There's no proof for it. It's intuitive. It's your intuition. That within yourself, a person knows that I am living. There's no words that you have to explain to a person through that I am living right now, that I have some life, there is some haya in me. Like that, if a person is unable to debate with others, that how do you know that there is a God? That you can simply say that it is my fitrah, it is my disposition, it's intuitive. It's my intuition that I know that there is a being that has created me. I know there is a being, it's intuitive inside me, that I know that there is a being who must have created the galaxy and all those things around me. So فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us also tawfiq to have tawheed at the highest levels.